So, hey guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to be talking to you guys today. If you're in the room, go ahead and say hello and also disregard my quarantine nails because I usually get my nails done like once a month, and basically all the salons have been closed for like a month, so I haven't been able to go. And because of the type of nails that I get, it's really hard to get it off yourself. So some of my nail polish is still on and some of it's not, so it's not as easy as just like taking nail polish remover. Anyway, I'm sure no one cares about that. Anyhow, I see that Show is in the room. If you're here, say hello so I can give you a shout out. I was really happy with the episode last night. I thought it was the best one of the ones that we have seen. Obviously, it's the third one we've seen for the end of the whole show. Hi, Haley. Hi, Q or Ola. Thank you so much for being here. But anyway, I was actually super, super happy with everything. Hey, Renee. Hey, T. What's up? Well, let me start by saying one thing I'm not happy with, but I guess it's never going away, is the Castillo theme that just won't go away, and it's just not going to go away because we only have, 3 episodes left. We also have a break, so we won't have a show next week, which really sucks. So that means probably I won't have a show, but we will the next week. Hi, Megan. Hi, Luke. But I was really happy with the pacing of this episode. I felt like a lot of stuff happened. One pretty big thing happened. The ending was a major cliffhanger. That's all stuff that we need to talk about. And for me, I think it was one of the better episodes of this final season, although I was pretty happy with the first half of this final season as well. But I'm interested to see what you guys thought about it. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the big stuff right now. Hi, Michael. And yes, as Renee is saying, she hopes everyone is staying safe. Hopefully you guys are staying safe inside quarantine. Hopefully things will slowly start to get back to normal and we can get back to our lives when it is safe for everyone to do that. I'm starting to feel like we might have an end to this. I'm starting to feel hope of getting back to life eventually, so I'm super happy. Ralph says you're stumped a little with last night's episode. They changed all the players on the board in a different direction. So definitely I felt like the cliffhanger from last night came out of nowhere. Let's first talk about the incident with Nate and, oh my God, I'm blanking on his name, Xavier. I kind of felt like Xavier was not going to make it through this episode. When I saw Frank starting to attack him, I thought, Frank may kill him. And then when Nate stepped in, I was like, he's probably going to kill him. And then they tricked us for a little bit thinking that he wasn't going to do it. And then they come back to that scene and he ended up, breaking his neck. So we've got that going on, which Nate is just kind of a loose cannon. He does a lot of things impulsively, which he doesn't think out and think about what are the consequences going to be for him. So I think this is going to be really bad for him, whether he goes to prison forever or whatever, I don't know, or if someone takes a hit out on him. I could see him getting killed off. Let me know what you're thinking about that. We also had Annalise kind of, I guess you could say, betraying Connor and Michaela, recording them without their knowledge, even though they kind of betrayed her at the beginning of this second half of this season by by basically agreeing to testify against her for a plea deal, even though they dropped that. So yeah, I mean, that one caught me off guard. I did not realize or didn't think that she might be recording them, and I didn't expect for her to flip the script, because basically that's what she did, which was, well, I don't know. What do you think about that? And then the last thing we need to talk about, and I have my own thoughts about it, then I've seen so many different thoughts from you guys, either by DMing me or people on Twitter last night. What the heck is going on with Sam's sister, Hannah? Basically, Vivian, who is the ex of Sam, is trying to tell Annalise that she has really no clue what Hannah's vendetta. Annalise did not know. She was in the dark about the vendetta that Hannah had against Annalise and why she wanted to take her down. Now, from what they were saying, and then I saw some other random people on Twitter saying having a similar thought to me, I almost got a feeling that Hannah had some sort of relationship with Sam that wasn't your typical brother-sister relationship, and that kind of freaked me out, and that was kind of gross, although a lot of people told me they don't believe that, because I tweeted out some stuff about that, and people were like, no, that's not where it's going. Haley, who was on here, sent me a theory from Reddit that was pretty interesting, that is kind of long, so I don't think I can get into all of that, but there's a lot of theories. Basically what I'm saying is, I'm sure you guys have your own, and you can share those with me, and I want to get to some comments, but if you don't have a clue what's going on, you can Google your heart out for the next 2 weeks because there are tons of people speculating online. There's a lot of people in the room. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to get to everyone now and then go back to my thoughts. Hello to Anthony, Luke, Megan, Brad, Michael, Hilda. Yeah, we're on a break, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, it's okay because this is a very short, we only have 3 more episodes and we're all in quarantine, so that sucks because we have no episode to look forward to next week, but it just extends the time that we have for the 2 episodes of the second half. I felt were pretty lackluster. I just definitely thought that much more was going to happen considering we were in the last episodes of the entire series. Also, I wasn't happy with the reveal with Asher's killer, as I expressed last week if you guys caught this show. Hi Chase, and thank you. Luke says you're surprised they are doing the big twist episode next week. So there's a big twist coming. Now, some of you have tweeted me that you think the big twist is involving the cliffhanger, and others of you think there is another twist that has not been, alluded to, that we really have no clue what that's going to be. Now, as Hilda is saying, we still have no info on Wes. Also, people were talking last night on Twitter about Laurel. We haven't seen her yet. I personally don't really care what she's doing, but we have to bring her back. She's coming back. I don't know what they're waiting on in that situation. I don't know if that's going down to the wire in the last episode or what. Hey, Gregory, good to see you again. Gregory says Nate only needs one more corpse to become a serial killer. Definitely feel like Nate is off the rails here. And even Frank felt like he was off the rails. So it's like if Frank thinks you're having a problem with your reckless killing, you're probably having a problem. Ralph says basically between last night and next week's preview, Annalise is the mastermind behind it achieving others to commit murder for her. It is How to Get Away with Murder. I thought it was pretty funny how she reiterated something that we've talked about a lot in the chats when she was like, hey, she was telling, what is her name? Her friend, or outside the courtroom, she was like, I've never killed anyone, and it's always like this thing, which I feel like a lot of us get duped into where you think, that Annalise and the Keating 5 or 4, however many we have, at this point we have 4, because if we have Wes, then we have 4 because Asher's dead. But, thinking that these people are victims and everyone else is the bad guy. And it's like, yeah, Annalise, you've never killed anyone, but like you're a criminal. You have caused so many crimes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the cast. I like the characters, but these people are not operating like normal people in society. Nicholas says, you knew Hannah would be back. That is also something that we have talked about in the last couple of chats. A lot of you were asking. Another thing a lot of you were asking about was where was Annalise's boyfriend from the first half of this last season, which he's kind of like, I can't figure out what they're doing with him, if he has a purpose or not. I was thinking like if he never shows back up, it won't really matter because he didn't seem to have much of a purpose. Now all of a sudden he shows back up. He's acting really weird. Is it too weird? I mean, I know people on Twitter were saying like, oh, he's working for the Castillos. And it's like, oh, wow, oh my God, like who isn't working for the Castillos? It's very ridiculous if he's involved with them too. I'm so over that. But I did find it weird that he was back again. So Doja thinks that this cannot be incest as the cliffhanger explanation because that's too easy. Hey, Jan, what is up? Thank you so much for being here. Michael says Oliver is being really shady. Can't stand him. He keeps saying things like, forget Annalise, it's her fault. Stuff like that. And you're like, shut up, Oliver. Anthony says Oliver's getting more and more shady. So a lot of you have been thinking that. Now, deep down inside, I'm hoping that he is shady because that's something I thought about seasons ago. So if that comes true, then that'll make me happy because to me, the reason that I picked him out as someone in the past who I felt like was shady was because he is the most innocent person on the show, or at least that's how he's portrayed. He's always been like a super nice, like don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, like blah, blah, blah. And anytime you watch a horror show or a show where people are murdering people, whatever, who do you look at as your villains? It's not typically, if it is, then it's a stupid show. But like, if it's the person who's like blatantly evil and like, being like, obviously looks like a killer or acts like a killer, if it's that person that's your villain, then it's a poorly constructed show because that's way too obvious. So many times it's the super nice person, the person that everyone likes, the person that can never be a killer, the person that can never be doing bad stuff, So that and other behavior, things dealing with his behavior definitely in the past. And I can't remember exactly what I put in the video where I named him as a bad guy, but there were other signs pointing to that. So, Ralph is wondering if Frank is Sam's kid or related to Sam. That's something that is circulating on the internet as far as theories go, because people are wondering what is up with Sam, or what is up with Frank and Sam. Is there a bigger connection than just him being like the hitman for him? Also, we had like a special moment, I guess, between Frank and Bonnie where they're like confessing their love for each other, and I think it's pretty legit. What do you guys think? Jan's asking if they're ever going to come back to Bonnie's child. You know, I feel like there's so many loose ends, and that's a good point. There's a lot of loose ends with this show, and I don't know if we're going to be able to wrap them all up because we literally have 3 more episodes. I felt like the show kind of took a weird turn, like kind of like Ralph said, like taking us like in a new direction, because we have several things we need to wrap up, and one of those things being Wes. That's a big thing. We have quite a few things to wrap up already on the table that we're aware of, you know, before throwing new things at us, considering that we have 3 episodes left. Now, I don't know if any of those episodes, you know, are supposed to be longer. Is the actual finale like 2 hours or something? I haven't heard. I have no idea. I feel like maybe it could be. I feel like some of Shonda's finales, like actual finales, have been longer. Am I right about that? I don't know. Doja says Oliver went from being so likable to being unbearable. Yeah, so he's getting on a lot of your guys' nerves. Megan says, what do I think that about Vivian knows about Frank's family from Hannah? You're assuming whatever Vivian is about to tell Annalise will have to do with Frank. So Frank is kind of almost like the Castillos, with the way the show works, deeply, deeply connected. I'm hoping that the information revealed in the next episode is worth our time. Luke is saying that Pete Nowalk said the twist involves Frank and Sam. So here we go. Hi, Jay. Thank you so much for being here. Ralph says it's kind of weak how they just made Connor, Michaela, and Ollie back with Annalise just like that. They switched back. I thought it was kind of weird too. I also thought that Michaela's dad was acting very, very shady once again. So we've got that. Yeah, what is it with them? They were like ready to take her down to take this plea deal. Now they're like, oh, no, like we didn't want to do that. We were like coerced to do this. Like this is not what we wanted to do. Hilda says the name of the Sam flashback episode is What If Sam Wasn't the Bad Guy? So you're saying, what if Hannah did something to him? I don't know. I mean, everything we know about Sam is bad, like sleeping with students, cheating like a crazy person, just not a good guy. Ralph says, you know, I mean, like, here's the thing. If he... Was there a reason for his behavior from his childhood or something? I still think it's a reach because, you know, I definitely think what happens to you as a child can play into how you turn out as an adult, but I never like when someone gets to have a pass because of something like, you know, if someone murders someone as an adult and they say it was because they were abused as a child, do we give them a pass? I don't know. I mean, him cheating like a crazy person, having sex with students, whatever, something bad happened to him. Okay, so does that excuse that? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Ralph said Frank killed a woman. He doesn't get to judge Nate on killing the guy who killed Nate's dad. Yeah, I agree with you. Tegan, I'm sorry for blanking on her name. Renee is saying you think there's more with Tegan. This was basically an episode where like everyone was in love with Annalise. It was like her boyfriend was back and seemingly like desperate to get her back. It was really over the top. I felt like, you know, he was like, oh my God, why haven't you been returning my calls? And Tegan was basically putting it out there that she was desperate to be with her. So it's a little weird. Jay says the boyfriend seems sketch and he has to be involved somehow. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to like what they're going to say about him because I feel like they're going to be connecting him to the Castillos again, and I'm just really over that. But his behavior was like super over the top to me. It was like he seemed just like super in love with her or like desperate to be with her, and I didn't feel like, I mean, he was kind of suspicious the first half of the season, but it just felt like disingenuous. I don't know. Jan's thinking that she's hoping that they're not going with Robert, who's the boyfriend, being a bad guy. So, I don't know. I mean, he seemed weird. Afonso says you hope he only came to push Tegan to reveal her feelings for Annalise. I mean, I'm fine with that if that's the reason. Maybe that was the reason that the show put him in there, in this episode. I don't know. He just seems off to me. It was just really weird. Ralph says Tegan and Annalise's new boyfriend are fighting for the last cup of Annalise's Kool-Aid. Right. What does that say about those two when they're so obsessed with being with her when we know, like, how many issues she has? Like, if you're chasing someone who has serious mental issues, but you're obsessed with them and, like, dying to be with them, what is that saying about your mental state? Alfonso says you're really tired of how combative they get with Gabriel for no reason. So everyone hates Gabriel. They all still think he's some sort of villain. I think he's not. And I think I told you guys this last week that I'm over, like, trying to make him the villain or trying to, investigate what he's up to, or he has an ulterior motive. I really don't think so. I think he's really just trying to figure out what happened to his dad. He just is never going to accept that his dad was like a dirtbag. But, maybe there's a reason for his dad being a dirtbag. I don't know. We'll see. Anthony says Oliver keeps pushing Michaela and Connor towards betraying Annalise and confessing, so maybe he's an informant for the FBI. I mean, his behavior is definitely shady. I totally agree with you. Michael says I'm really behind in the comments, but I'm trying to catch up. Michael says everyone's a criminal. You love Annalise, but even though she hasn't killed anyone, she has helped cover up killings, framing innocent people, lying to the cops. Yes, they're all criminals. So at the end of the day, all of them at the least need to serve some jail time, in my opinion. And that doesn't mean I dislike the characters or dislike the actual actors and actresses playing the roles. So we don't want to get it twisted, but, they're committing crimes. All of them have committed a crime. Alfonso says Frank being Sam's kid would be terrible. He'd have helped killing his half-brother when he caused Annalise's car crash. I truly think that Frank has a lot of remorse for doing that. I really do. Yeah, and if she found out that that was like his relative that he killed, that's going to be even worse. Brad is wondering who killed Emmett. This is what we're talking about here. We have so many loose ends. I don't see them resolving all of those. I'm just going to be totally honest because it's just going to get us way off plot. I don't know. I mean, we're already kind of going away from where we started. TJ says Nate is so irrational and he needs to go. He is. He is a loose cannon. You can't trust him. I know he's got a lot of issues. I know what happened with his dad was, destroyed him basically, but he just needs to like retire or something. Like he needs to go on somewhere because he's just out of control. Skyla says Brad Paul, don't remember getting an answer for that. I'm confused there, but I don't know. I might have missed something in the other comments. Oh, you're talking to Brad. I was like, I don't know who that is in the show. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to get to more of your comments. Keep commenting. I'm going to try to get to all of them. Jan says you can see the twist being that Hannah ordered the hit on Lila instead of Sam. That's also what some people are saying online as well. They agree with you. So, yeah. But he was still having an affair with her. I mean, yeah. Okay. I don't know if I love that Hannah's the mastermind behind all this. I don't really like that. I'm just going to say it. Gregory says it might be a quote from Hannah thinking to put all the blame on someone else. Ralph says, what if Frank is the love child of Sam and his sister that they pawned off on a friend of the family to keep Frank close? That's so gross. I was talking to Jay Ivy on Twitter earlier, and she made the statement that maybe one of those people are adopted like Sam or Hannah, so maybe it's not as disgusting as we think, or maybe it is. I don't know. Definitely, for those of you who watch Pretty Little Liars, I feel like we're kind of recycling some of the themes here. Incest is not a good one. We'll see if they go there. Hi, Julie. Thank you so much for being here. Julie says, remember when Frank took Laurel to his parents' house? You distinctly remember that Frank's dad is in a wheelchair. Yeah, I felt like his family, the dynamic he had with his family was weird, right? Didn't they have, like, not a great relationship? I can't really remember. I felt like something was a little bit off with that. Okay, I'm going to try to scroll down and get it to as many of you as I can. Thank you. I can't say, I think your name is French. I don't know how to say it. It starts with an L, but thank you about my earrings. They are from American Eagle, like a couple of years ago. Thank you so much. And I took French, so it's quite the fail that I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Toby says Oliver was the one who really gave it to him initially. Oliver's hiding something for sure. If you see that I missed your comment, just comment again because I was getting just way too far behind. Renee doesn't like that Hannah is the mastermind either. Chase says, what's happening with Wes? We don't know. We just don't know. Gregory says, if they trot out Annalise's British twin, you're out. That's funny. We might be having Wes might have a twin. Please go from that. Skylar says, side note, The Stranger was so good. I told you guys about that last week. Netflix has 2 other shows based off the book from the same guy. So Harlan Coben, he has a ton of books out. Apparently he's super popular. I'm just not figuring out who he is. He also has 2 other Netflix series. So he has The Stranger, he also has The Five, and he also has Safe. Interestingly enough, Safe stars Michael C. Hall, who played Dexter, but Michael C. Hall in Safe is using a British accent, which is creepy. I started watching it and I was so freaked out because he was pretending to be British that I could not keep watching it. Because what's weird is that when British actors are in American stuff and they speak with an American accent, it's not weird to me. But to know Michael C. Hall definitely isn't British and was speaking with a British accent freaked me out. Anyway, if you're looking for stuff to watch, I would think all of those are pretty good. I did watch all of The Stranger. It was really good. But The Five and Safe, also by the same author. So if you're looking for more things, there you go. All right, back to How to Get Away with Murder. Jay says, you thought people were assuming that Tegan killed Emmett, but honestly, you think you're not over Emmett unless it's important. You're over Emmett unless it's important to the plot. I feel bad for that guy, but there's some things that we just gotta let go. Did the show correctly handle everything and tie up everything? I think at the end of the day, no, they aren't going to. So if we never know really what happened with that, will we be okay? I think so. Are we saving Wes till the final episode? Can someone tell me? Afonso says, you wonder if Nate will keep his word and not testify against Annalise. Wow. I don't know. Because every time they have a scene together, you can just tell he hates this woman. I don't know. And they have such a bad relationship. So if I were her, I would be really, really nervous. Matt says, you wonder if the person who plays Hannah will be coming back to guest star. You remember hearing something about that the real life actress didn't want to come back? Well, I'm assuming that she's going to have to, right? I mean, even if they're going to try to show her in flashbacks, I highly doubt they already filmed those. Luke says, your prediction is Gabriel is going to find out that the K5 killed his father and is going to tell the FBI and ends up being murdered. Shoot, I mean, I could see anything. I mean, anything's on the table here. I could see that happening. I could see a lot of people getting killed. So, someone was killed in this episode, but it wasn't a major player, and I don't think anyone cares that Xavier was killed, but I know we were talking last week, who do we think is going to get killed on here? I mean, I'm hoping for more of the major players to get killed. If you don't like that, I'm sorry, but come on. It's the last of this show. Let's go. Let's go out on a high note. Hilda says, if they make Wes's twin British, it would be funny or hilarious considering Alfred. Yes, Alfred Enoch is British, but that would suck. Yeah, let's hope we don't go there. Oh my God. It's enough if they go with the twins, Toby says, it was like... Okay. Again, it was like he was afraid he'd be exposed. Gabriel was only telling them really important stuff, and then he assumed Gabriel was wearing a wire, same as just before he hit Asher with the poker. Yeah, so Oliver thinks everyone's evil. Does that mean that Oliver? Here's the thing. Have you ever heard if you're being accused by someone of something, a lot of times that's a way for them to mask the fact that they're doing that something. For example, if you have your significant other keeps accusing you of cheating, and it's coming from nowhere. 9 times out of 10, it's because they're cheating. They're trying to deflect the blame. So is Oliver accusing people because he's doing some shady stuff? Jay says, you doubt everything will tie up because you believe they thought they would get another season or hoping for a spinoff. I'm not a fan of spinoffs at all. So even if I was obsessed with the show and thought it was the world's greatest show, I am not a fan of those. So I'll tell you now that I probably will have very little interest if that happens to watching a spinoff. Just never a fan of them. I feel like they can never live up to the actual show. So, I mean, I don't think that's even being talked about, but just throwing that out there. Ralph says, if Wes is not dead, then it was he who set up for Tegan to help Laurel get away. And the baby are probably with Wes. And that's what I'm thinking, even though I don't agree with any of this. I think that Laurel and Wes are together with their baby. That's what I think, in hiding. Hilda says the mother of the twin girls who plays baby Christopher, I'm getting confused here, said that they won't be appearing until episode 14, so probably Laurel will come back then. Do you mean the mother of the actor, the baby actor? Is that what you mean? I don't know what the twin girls means. Okay. Okay, so Diva is asking me if I'm going to review Insecure. Yeah, I would actually, I should probably definitely do that. Would you guys come to the chat? I feel like every time I bring that up, no one watches it, but I love Insecure, so I should totally do that. I should start doing that every week. You know what? We'll try doing it next week, and I'll put on Twitter, it's Kelly_TV. I will give you guys the date and the time, or like the day I want to do it and the time. And we'll see what happens. If we get like 10 people, then we'll go from there, because I love that show. And yes, I did watch it last week. Renee would watch a Tegan spinoff. I really like Tegan, even though I'm still not so sure. I think she's not shady. I don't want her to be shady, but I probably would not watch her in a spinoff. I like the actress. Okay, I'm going to go back up and read some more of your comments. I probably missed them. Again, if I skipped over you, if you commented like 5 minutes ago or something, I probably just didn't see it. So just comment it again. Let's see. What did I miss over? Matt is saying you wonder if Hannah set up the hit against AK instead of the Mahonies. That's interesting. And wondering if Wes is actually Annalise's son. This is something that we've gone over before, definitely. I forgot. I feel like there was some sort of reason that he couldn't be her son, but can you guys remind me, or maybe I'm not right here. Matt says Hannah has been concealing this the whole time because she was in love with Sam. So, I mean, do we really think that they're going with the Hannah and Sam love affair, whatever the heck is going on? I mean, guys. Toby says, considering Connor and Oliver's combo this episode under the sheets, it's clear that Connor's life with Oliver can never go back to normalcy after making a deal with the devil, which is Annalise. Yeah, it definitely seems that way. Michael says, Wes is not alive. You think the character was actually Kristoff in another timeline in the future? But wasn't this person who looked like Wes at Annalise's funeral? So, like, why would Kristoff, the baby or whatever, Christopher, be grown up but at Annalise's funeral? Because she would have like definitely been dead like way before he was an adult. The only hope that I have is that scene that we saw with Wes is some sort of dream or hallucination or something, which I also don't like when shows have dreams that are like tricking you in that way. Like that would be a trick if they come up and say so-and-so was dreaming this, or like a hallucination or whatever. I don't like that tactic either. So like none of these tactics are ideal for me. I can't make the situation with Wes make sense, but maybe they can make it make sense. Maybe I just haven't figured out what they're going to do that makes sense. Haley says, you really want more info on Solomon's relationship with Annalise. He kind of brushed over it, but is all of that true? Yeah, that's a good question, and I don't know. Toby is just convinced that Oliver is a bad guy. Okay, Jan is saying that Alfred Enoch, who plays Wes, was credited as Wes in that episode. So it appears that he was playing Wes, not his son, but we still don't have the confirmation that Wes is alive, I guess. But I guess also from what you guys have told me, that Pete has said on Twitter or whatever leads you to believe that Wes is in fact alive. Or are they joking? Not joking, but playing with this. I remember when the whole thing happened about Wes dying. I remember there were specific comments made on Twitter, and I think it was from like Pete before we saw that episode where they were saying they weren't going to kill Wes off. I swear it was something like that was definitely super misleading. Pretty much I almost want to say like a lie from the show, and then he was killed off. But hold on, now that I'm saying that, now it's all starting to make sense. I know there was a lot of drama and it made me mad because I think Pete said like they weren't going to kill off Wes or something along those lines. Does anyone remember that? And then I was like, oh my God, they killed him off. Like, why? Like, what is this? This is some like Marlene King stuff here. Like, what's up with this? But if he never died, then they never lied. All these years later, we're figuring it out. Still not a fan of it, though. Still not a fan. Jada says, why would Nate kill Xavier? He already knew it was the governor. His father was literally the face of Annalise's class action suit. Because he's off the rails. And I think that was Frank's reaction. Like, wait, why did you kill him? Is Xavier a piece of trash person? Yeah. Yes. But was he yeah, I'm with you. I just think you know, yeah, and Michael's saying that Xavier said he wanted to hurt Nate's dad. But again, Nate is unpredictable and Nate would do pretty much anything right now. So we can't trust him, you know. When I was finding a thumbnail for this chat, I wanted it to be Nate, and I couldn't find any from last night's show, but I did find, do you guys remember when the episode when he was like, he's very in shape. I can't think of his real name. Why can't I think of his name? He works out a little bit, I think, the guy who plays Nate. Anyway, I found like one of the top search images was like him without a shirt, and I was like, I should put that up there, but I was like, I won't, because, you know, he's off the rails and it's just not even cute anymore. But I just thought I should put that picture up there. Hilda says, you hope Alfred asked for double salary to bring him back. Yeah, I mean, I always have wondered what exactly went down with removing Wes from the show. And, you know, maybe it's been this plan all along that he never died and they would bring Alfred back, you know, because I was wondering if there was any hard feelings with Alfred about, like, losing his job, basically, or this was all cool. I don't know, because, you know, sometimes, or a lot of times, people get killed off on a show or whatever, they get moved on a show. Billy Brown, thank you. They get moved on a show, and people are not okay. Like, for example, The Walking Dead, the teenager Carl, like, had just bought a house, the real-life actor, and they killed him. Oh, I'm afraid to say that. I don't want to spoil anything. Anyway, something happened with his character, and he was angry, and he was, like, on social media angry. So just because someone has to exit a show for whatever reason doesn't always mean that the actor or actress is cool with it or is in on it. Like the real life person here. I'm not talking about Wes as a character. So what happened with Alfred? I don't know. I don't know if he's down with it. I don't know if this was a big plan from day one of the show. I have no idea. Does anybody know? Jada says Nate hasn't even apologized to Bonnie yet. He keeps telling her to her face that the man was still guilty in some way. I know. I mean, I see him dying or something. Something not good's gonna happen with him. Like Gregory thinks Nate's going insane. Yeah, the murder of his father just, that was it for him, and I don't see him coming back. Yes, Chandler Riggs, who played Carl on Walking Dead. And whatever happened with this person happened a while back, but I hate when someone's like, oh my God, you ruined the show for me. Okay. Michael says, you're going to be honest, if Wes is alive, they absolutely confirm that Wes is alive, you're going to be so disappointed. I can't, in my mind, figure out a way to make it make sense that what they're doing with Wes, to make it make sense and be like, oh, that was so cool. That's smart. That makes so much sense. So there's a little part of me that has some hope that they're going to do something with the storyline that's going to make sense to all of us or most of us, and we're going to be okay with it. I don't see it happening. I don't really think any of the scenarios that we've come up with in these chats make sense, make me happy, make me cool with it. So Jada says, a good point about Alfred. At least Sam is still getting those ghost checks to this day. Right. The guy who plays Sam has been working. Like, he is in every season, is he not? Like, I think he's been in more flashbacks than Alfred has, but maybe I'm wrong. Like, I feel like they want to pay that man, you know? Ralph says Nate has only tried to do good for everyone, but in the end, they all are going to screw him over. I think you're right. I don't think Nate is a terrible person. I think he's an unpopular person as far as his character on the show. And I just don't see it ending well for this man on the show. Man, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for him. Because in some way, what happened with his dad was, like, atrocious. Like, it was really bad, guys. Like, really bad. Like, so I get his anger and his, like, done with the world attitude. Like, I get that. But at this point, and I think they tried to tell him this, but he's just not listening. He needs to get away from this life of crime. Like, give it up. Like, please retire yourself. But it's not going to happen, and I really do see him dying. That's what I see. Gregory says, insane, especially from the guilt of having killed an innocent man, and he's trying to convince himself more than Bonnie. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's just not good. Not good with him. Not good at all. Hilda says Alfred seemed chipper about it the decision, I guess, to kill him off the show. And he said he understood why Pete made the decision, but still Pete stuffed his bag. Yeah, so I don't know. But again, we really don't know what happened with them or what happened in those talks about when he was going to be off the show, because he's literally been off the show pretty much for a while. Megan says, you don't remember where you read this, but someone has a theory that Wes was under a sleep pill, or like he took a pill or someone drugged him. I like how you said that though, but I mean, you mean like American Horror Story, like what was that season where they were in New Orleans? Like somebody's cast an actual spell on him, like Sleeping Beauty. That's pretty funny. Haley says when they were promoting season 3, they said that every episode they would reveal someone who was not dead. They revealed one episode that Wes was alive and then he wasn't. There you go. There you go. That was what made everyone mad. That made me really mad. I need to get a life because this fictional show made me pretty mad. That's when I started like not liking the show that much. I'm just going to be honest. That was the beginning of the end of my happy relationship with the show. But if he actually never died, did they lie? See? I did not watch Better Call Saul because, yes, it was a spinoff or is a spinoff of Breaking Bad, but Michael says it's good. I'm probably not going to watch it, but yes, I did like Breaking Bad, though. Luke says you think they meant Wes was on whenever Mona was on. Oh, Wes was on whatever Mona was on when she was dead. Again, when you have someone die in a show, when you show me their dead body, their face and all that good stuff, you show me they're dead, you don't bring them back, okay? You do not say they didn't really die. Please stop with that. Please stop with that nonsense. So if that's where we are, that's crazy. You have lost me. I cannot respect that. Goodbye. Gregory says, magical spell. This is getting more and more like Pretty Little Liars. I mean, man, are we gonna, I'm hoping, I'm not, maybe she was joking. No. Really? Like, you think he's under an actual spell, or people actually think that? I mean, last time I checked, this was not a sci-fi show. If it goes there, then I'm really gonna be like, whoa, like, are you kidding me? Christian says, you don't know why, but you got the feeling last night that Frank was going to die, or they were going to do something to him since he said, I love you to Bonnie, like kind of a goodbye. Ooh, someone asked me on Twitter like a couple days ago if I was a fan of Frank's, because a lot of people aren't. And I was like, yeah, actually, I really like him. I don't know what that means. Maybe I just like bad boys. I don't know, probably. But, you remember the episode when he almost killed himself? I was like on pins and needles on the edge of my seat. I thought he was going to kill himself. Like, I was really having a problem with that. So even though I keep cheering for everyone to die, I don't think I want him to die. I don't think I want that to happen. He's not a great person. There's something likable about him, though. I don't know. I thought they showed Mona's body on Pretty Little Liars. I swear they showed her face. Did they not? Don't get me started on PLL again. I cannot. Renee says you think Annalise's life was flashing before her, before she dies, which explains the Wes vision. To me, that is the best explanation. Vision, hallucination, dream. Don't make him alive, please, people. Come on. Are we all stupid? Hilda says they showed Mona's body in the trunk of her car, not the coffin. Well, a dead body is a dead body, whether you show me in a trunk, in a coffin, on the side of the street. There's a lot of people speculating, as Doja is saying. There's been so much talk about Michaela being Annalise's daughter, which we talked about last week. And then I thought it was interesting because they addressed that this week. And her dad was saying it was some other person that he hooked up with, I guess, to get over Annalise. I don't know. Is it possible for her to still be her mom? I mean, Annalise would know. I don't know if Annalise is going to die. That's what we don't know. That's the thing. We really don't know. I mean, that was teased before, and I thought that she was going to fake her death because she left the country, but now she's back, so. Jan says the governor seems like such a bad villain character. We've barely seen her throughout the season, and her motives are boring. That, and the other person that's driving me nuts is this Detective Pollock nonsense. This random person that they made Asher's killer. Just don't care about this woman. She's like so insignificant. Why did she have to be Asher's killer? Why? We still don't really have all the information on that either, because apparently, I did see this on Twitter. Pete says it's all going to make sense, but I don't know, Pete. I'm struggling. Hilda says technically Mona wasn't dead. PLL was one hell of a ride. I don't miss it, guys. That show, though. I have a funny story. I think maybe some of you saw this, or probably most of you didn't. Jay Ivy, she's still here. I think Jay tagged me in some kind of thing, tagging me and Marlene King and a couple other people, like pretty recently, like a couple months ago. I don't even know. It was like a positive tweet. Marlene King actually replied to us, so she actually atted me. That's not right, but she, replied to me on Twitter, and I really almost died because all the times I dragged this woman on Twitter, like tagging her name, the videos, I tore up her face, all of this stuff. After all of this time, the woman responds to me on Twitter. It was very positive, so she was actually nice, but it made me laugh a lot because because I was like, oh my God, this woman has finally recognized me. No, I'm joking. I don't really like her. I'm sorry. I don't really like her. Diva says that the Pollock woman reminds her of Sherry O'Terry. She also reminds me, that's from SNL. She also reminds me of the woman who did the Debbie Downer from SNL. That's who she reminds me of. But I see both. That's cool. I like that. Do you guys know who Sherry O'Terry is? Who do I think will die before in the next episodes, as Doja says? Well, I think we're gonna lose. Nate for sure. Maybe Bonnie. I'm hoping Wes. I'm hoping he just has been dead. Jay is saying Marlene King did talk to us, and she's supposed to have a new series coming out, apparently. Anyway. It was just the perfect ending to my Marlene King saga, but you know what they say, like if you keep talking about someone, maybe you still have some feelings for them. So I do keep talking about her, and we do always bring PLL up and somehow in all of these chats. So maybe deep down, I've just never let PLL go. I don't know. Gregory says PLL was like being in a car that goes as fast as possible with the most insane driver ever. You know what? It did start out really good, and I did think it was awesome, and I loved it so much. And then it just got worse and worse and worse to the point that it was hysterical in all the wrong ways because it's not supposed to be a funny show. T. Parker says Wes is dead. We literally saw his burnt body and getting opened up in the morgue. You feel like the Wes we saw as a grown-up Christopher. That is a theory that's out there. I don't really believe in that theory, but I know a lot of you guys do. So I do hope he's dead. I'll say that because it just doesn't make any sense if Wes is alive. Megan says you love Sherry O'Terry. You loved her skits with Will Ferrell as a Spartan cheerleader, and that's what I was going to say to you guys. I was going to be like, hey, she was a cheerleader with Will Ferrell, but I don't know if you guys remember. But yeah, if you haven't, don't know who that is, you should totally look that up on YouTube. Luke says Riverdale is 10 times worse than PLL. I know there was a big musical episode because I saw that like all over Twitter, but no, I'm not going to watch it again. And yes, I did quit watching it quite a while ago because literally that's the other question I get all the time, either on my channel or in these chats. And that is, are you still watching Riverdale? Which is totally fine because, it's hard to keep up with what people are watching, but it's just the things that people associate me with are Riverdale, definitely PLL, and of course American Horror Story, which I do plan on watching American Horror Story this year. If it comes out on time or who freaking knows. I don't know if they've finished filming it or what the status of any of that is. Yeah, so the first 2 seasons of PLL were pretty good, as Gregory said, but when it went off the rails, like it went way. Like talking about Nate being off the rails, no, this show was like totally insane. Michael says, what other shows am I watching? So if you didn't hear about this in the last chat or earlier today, I did watch The Stranger on Netflix, which is really good, super hard to figure out. It's a British show. Really hard to figure out like who is the villain, what's going on. It's a mystery, so I think you guys would really like it. Also watching Insecure, which is nothing like this show or Murders or like anything like that. But I love it because I love Issa Rae. I love the whole cast. Like I love Insecure, so glad that's back. I just don't know if that would appeal to those of you who are hardcore into murders and stuff, which, hey, I am, but can't watch murders all the time. I'm glad that I have a couple shows that I watch where people aren't going to die and I don't have to figure out who's the killer. It's refreshing. Yeah, and that's Hilda saying a lot of these shows go downhill from season 3, and that's what happens typically with any show. One show I feel like that hasn't gone down in quality is This Is Us. This Is Us does not involve killings or murders or anything. I love This Is Us. I think it's fantastic. I'm totally caught up on that. So it's just such a well-written show. But again, it's not for everyone. And if you are the person who only watches the mysteries and the horror and stuff like that, you won't like it, I don't think, because like literally there's none of that going on. What I will say about This Is Us is there are always a lot of surprises because it's written so well. There's literally surprises all the time, like in every episode. They do such a great job surprising you with things, but it's not like a surprise of, hey, this person's a serial killer. Then you thought they were just a nice family member. It's other things, but it's really, really good. I have not seen Pose, which was on FX. I guess it's still going, and I haven't, I know a lot of people told me to watch that. Maybe I should, I don't know. I know there's a lot of people telling me to watch Killing Eve. I should probably watch that. I know that does look good too. Luke is telling me to watch Elite. It's on Netflix. It's 3 seasons. It's like a private school, how to get away with murder. That sounds good. I didn't watch Mr. Robot. I have some friends who really loved it and they were telling me about I know it ended and they were telling me about like the final season and their thoughts on that. But, sometimes when I know like, there's shows that get recommended to me and I know they're probably pretty good. And then I get like this like weird anxiety about starting it. Like I just have this like mental block. Like I'm afraid to start it because I don't know if I'm going to like it, or then I'll just watch like a few minutes and I won't be able to, I don't know. I'm weird about that. That's so weird. It kind of takes a lot for someone, like I love watching shows, but it takes a lot for me to get into a new series. And also if I know that it's like 5 seasons in, I start getting really nervous. Like I probably won't watch it if I've missed like 5 seasons or something crazy, because even during quarantine when we have so much time, it just freaks me out if I know most people are probably the absolute opposite and they wouldn't get freaked. They'd be like, oh my God, I have all these episodes. It's a great time killer. Ralph is saying Outsider on HBO is good. Holly from Mr. Mercedes played by a different actress. Was that the Stephen King show that was recently on HBO? I feel like I was watching something else too recently. Another series that I can't remember. I feel like I wrapped up recently. Skyla says if I watch Elite, I'll have to watch it in Spanish with English subtitles because the English dubbing on Netflix is bad. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. The Good Fight. Toby, I've never watched that. Is that good as well? Euphoria, I love. Now, here's the difference. Sometimes I will see a promo for a show like Euphoria. When I started seeing the promos for Euphoria last year, I was like, that's going to be a show that I love. I can just tell. Again, this one's not about killers either. There are surprises in it. And I loved Euphoria. So I'm so excited for that to come back. I thought that was fabulous. So, so good. I think I might even have done a video about the first season or something on here. But yes, I love that. So is there anything else about this episode of How to Get Away with Murder or the rest of the series or anything specifically with this show that you want to discuss that you don't feel like has been discussed? Or if I missed if I missed a comment from you that was referencing How to Get Away with Murder, let me know that I, type it again. Dare Me came out on USA. Yes, I watched. Maybe the first episode was pretty good, and this was before quarantine and all that, and I was just really busy with work and everything, and I didn't return to it. But I had a couple people on Twitter ask me a lot to go back to it, so I think it's probably something I would have watched. It definitely looked like something that was in my wheelhouse of shows that was something that it had all of the elements of a show that I would like, so I probably should try to go back to that. I kind of feel bad that I stopped watching that. But at the time, I was just, things happening. Anyway, so, I guess I will let you guys go. Thank you so much for being here. This was super fun. If you think of something I did not answer, or you think of something that maybe you typed it and I didn't see it or whatever, please comment once this is up on my channel. I need to go through. I haven't looked in a couple of days. So if I missed a comment from you on my channel in the past couple days, I'm sorry. I will go check that when we're done here. But this video should be up in 30 minutes. So if you think of something, leave me a comment. If you're watching this for the first time and I'm not live, hello to you. You can also give me a comment. But anyway, I was really happy to talk to you guys. I probably won't be doing a show next week since there is no show. So I will see you the following week, most likely. And for those of you interested in Insecure, leave me a comment on my video once it's on my channel if you would watch Insecure live chats weekly. I'm probably going to do one next week anyway, and I'll let you know on Twitter the time and date. But I love that show, so I'm cool with that. I just need to find more people who also watch that show. Thank you, Haley. That's really cute. Thank you so much. But anyway, I hope you guys are staying safe, doing well, handling the quarantine. I hope in the near future we can be back to some kind of normal. But have a great day. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.